Welcome to Right Fit Leader, a podcast from Alec Broadfoot and the Hire with Confidence team at VisionSpark. This is where visionaries, entrepreneurs, and leaders learn how to hire leaders, lead better, and build teams that last. Through expert insights, real client stories, and conversations with top leaders, you will hear how we find A players for your business. This is Right Fit Leader.
All right. Well, good morning. We're here at the EOS Conference with Alex Freytag and Peter Keim. Alex, you're a longtime EOS implementer. We've met back in 2013, right?
I think that's right, because it was around the Vistage time. Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, and you've been an EOS implementer, and you've always had ProfitWorks, right? So tell us a little bit about ProfitWorks.
Yes, good. So the idea originated from our father. I have two older brothers, three of us together, and he had been on boards in Columbus, and one of the common frustrations that he heard from owners of these small, scrappy businesses was that the employees think they're making wheelbarrows full of money. And he said, maybe there's a business in teaching employees to sort of see the real picture of how the business makes money and how small and precious profit is. And so my older brother and I, Gavin, set ProfitWorks up 30 years ago. So 1996, as a training company originally, to teach employees about sort of basic business literacy, financial literacy, not to become accountants, but just sort of enough to be dangerous. What we found, we surveyed employees, and we found that the average guess that most employees think profit is, as a percentage of sales, was around 50%. And so there's really no idea. And it's not because they're stupid or dumb, it's because they haven't been taught it. So we went into businesses and started to, and at this point it was bleeding edge to share information like this with employees, especially frontline employees. But over the years it evolved into these employees sort of, the light bulb comes on and they get really excited about it and understand it, and their behavior changes. And profit grows because they're making better choices, and the idea of an incentive plan took shape. And so a self-funded incentive plan became a very important part, and that became really exciting for business owners. Fast forward, the business has been in place and taken different turns and twists, as you know, the entrepreneurial journey to today, where we're consulting and training and helping create cultures of ownership thinking, which is really a lot of fun.
Awesome. And at what point in the journey did you hire Peter?
So
the best part of the journey.
The best part of the
journey. So Peter and I have known each other since 1987.
Oh wow!
And there was a bit of a kerfuffle in college where some things got misplaced, and as we were organizing things, we realized we have the same birthday. And I think that was our point when we met, is right. And so it was fast friends. And have been good friends for many years. And Peter, I knew, was between gigs in maybe 2021. And I had just written ProfitWorks, the book. And so I called him. I said, dude, I got an idea. Don't say anything. Let me just share it with you, and you noodle on it. And he was excited about it. And so we started working together then as the only VI duo, Visionary Integrator duo, with the same birthday.
That's our claim to fame.
Exactly right.
That's awesome.
So that's been a lot of fun to work with a trusted friend.
Yeah. So tell us about the clients you're helping now. Like, what are their frustrations and how you've helped them?
Yeah, people find their way to ProfitWorks, and I love that term, frustration, because something's not gelling in their company. They've done all the hard work in EOS. They got this great VTO. They've got their rocks and their scorecards, but they're not getting the linkage to the team, right? And so they'll feel they've got this entitlement culture that's building. Like, when do I get my bonus? When do I get my pay raise? And it's not tied to the performance of the company, right? Or they're feeling that their team is getting disengaged. Like, I don't know, I'm just working, but I'm not really feeling tied to this larger thing. And so they come to ProfitWorks either through reading our books or watching one of our seminars, and we say, hey, we can make this a very simple way to help you to think through this. Like, let's link your team stronger to your VTO. Let's use some reward systems. Let's use some training to get them there. But it usually sparks out of this frustration, as you said, that gets them there. They're like, we can do better here. And so Our clients are mostly very similar to EOS clients, 25 to 250 employees, typically founder held still or family held, and they're trying to find a way to share in the profit growth with their employees, but in a fair and equitable way that drives motivation.
Yeah.
What types of industries do you serve?
All sorts.
All sorts, yeah. So we, over the decades of work, we have worked in every industry imaginable, because the idea of incentive plan design can work across multiple industries. We custom fit them to be right for the culture, for the economics, for the life cycle of the company, but yeah, industry agnostic.
Okay, yeah, that's great. So what are you guys excited about in terms of some opportunities that you're in front of?
Right. Yeah, a lot of fun things happening. So most recently, we became an EOS licensee, and so as fans of it for over 13, 14 years, we've been doing this. It's just been a natural sort of hand in glove relationship. And I would say 99% of our clients are running on EOS. It's just a great operating system, and so that has been a natural connection to the community of not only EOS implementers who are, if it comes up in an EOS session where they're talking about profit sharing or how do we incentivize our employees, they'll hand them the book and ProfitWorks or Stretch Not Snap and say, hey, read this. If it resonates with you, I can get you in touch with the team there. And so it's been a fun relationship with EOS. And as an implementer myself, I hear it in the sessions and really enjoy working with entrepreneurs and helping them kind of unlock that puzzling, potentially complex discussion. A lot of folks can self-implement ProfitWorks, but sometimes they're like, I don't know if I'm doing it right. And so having a who or an outside, a third party sort of to bounce things against and say, here's some landmines to avoid, and it gives them a sense of confidence when they decide to launch the formula-driven, simple plan, that they've vetted it, and so that's been an exciting relationship with the EOS Worldwide, and it's evolved, and sponsoring the conference and being involved here to be in this fantastic community of like-minded folks.
I think what's fun too is that you watch these EOS companies. 10 years ago, no one talked about profit. Like, that's the owner's job, that's the executive team's job, right? And we're like, profit is on the shoulder of every single employee in your organization. Let's talk about it. Let's get it out of the corners. Let's get it out of the shadows. Like, this is what we're doing here, guys. This is the machinery of our business. Let's get you all excited about this, but we got to talk about it, right? And so ProfitWorks is this great vehicle just to get these companies, just how do we talk about this? How do we make this thing? Our business is called ProfitWorks, right? How does profit work in our company? Yeah. And if your teams don't understand that incredibly well, we think there's some opportunities for upside.
And I'm thinking about, Alec, what Vision Spark does. You help find great people, right? And right fit leaders, right fit people in the organization, core values aligned, GWC. And great companies who are running on EOS want to retain those people. And the other sort of fun piece that we're putting together now is focused on retention of key staff members, and so it can take the shape of a profit sharing or an upside on the incentive, earned compensation above and beyond me comp, the we side, but also alternative equity structures for these key leaders or key staff members that you do not want to lose, especially if there's maybe an exit coming up. Like even in 5 or 10 years, you want these people to stay. And so that's a bit of a golden handcuffs structure that's going to be embedded in software that helps the key leader be able to log in and see on a monthly basis, integrated with QuickBooks or some back office accounting systems, where they can see how is their profit sharing performing. If the company hits X or Y, what might I get at the end of this quarter based on my ProfitWorks design plan? And perhaps this person's also involved in sort of an alternative equity plan like phantom stock or synthetic equity or stock appreciation rights. And they can have that in there and tracked. And we can put challenge rocks tracked in there or sales gamification. So in the software, it's really exciting to see that potential, because the state of the company meeting, or an EOS company will typically communicate past, present, future, where we've been, where we are, where we're going. The incentive plan is not you can't talk in a lot of detail because different people are getting different dollar amounts. But in the app, the employee can log in and say, how am I doing? If they're sitting with their spouse, they can say, look, we can go to Disney World this quarter. And so that's exciting as it's taking shape as well.
But leverage more off of that platform too, because now you have a communication device.
Yes,
right, which is
directly to the...
Right, which is like, why should you care about the profitability of our company? Well, log into your app and you can see it. And now we can also push out messages. Right, here's a video from the CEO. Here's a Challenge Rock opportunity. Here's the profit improvement initiative we'd like you to focus on this quarter, right? So it can be it's not just to give them data, but it's also to do some reinforcement and reminders of key things to drive profitability of the business.
Yeah. What Peter talks about is that the incentive plan is a tool. Yeah. And some folks have incentive plans. Is it working? Like, is it shaping behavior? Is it driving employee behavior? And so we're saying with this app is like, take that tool and use it and strengthen it, and strengthen the engagement or the shared by all with the BTO. Start to not redact information on when you're state of the company meetings, so people understand what's revenue, what's gross margin. Talk about it, because you can reinforce it through continuous training and support, and what's net operating income or EBITDA or what those terms are down there at the bottom of the P&L as well. So we're really excited about that.
You showed me that app a couple days ago. I was impressed. That was really incredible. Yeah. I think that's a game changer for you guys.
I think it's cool. It's exciting. The idea of retention. I mean, I'm all for people getting what they want, but if that recruiter calls and they've got this plan that vests and then pays out over multiple years, they're going to be like, I'm very happy where I am.
Yeah, that's cool. And can it be like a vested schedule for a certain level of employees?
Absolutely.
Right, so it would be different for someone who's been there a year versus 5 years.
Absolutely, yeah. It doesn't have to be like necessarily on the leadership team. It could be key employees anywhere in the organization. It's somebody in accounting that's been for 25 years that you really, if you want to make sure that he or she's taken care of in the longer term, and they're not going anywhere, but it's like, it's appreciation and respect and a sense of oneness with the organization that we're trying to help support.
Yeah.
And the fun part is we talk about discipline at an organization. We talk about structure and process, right? Like, just nail down this discipline and this process. Like, if you want to have a synthetic equity plan, it sounds complicated. It's really not, but just put in the process and the work up front, so you don't have to go back to run your business. You've designed the plan, right? And so we're trying to get teams just to be very thoughtful about what's the objective that we want this tool to do. Retention of key employees. Annual incentive plan, right? Well, let's design it, let's put it in place, and then let's let the thing run to change behaviors. But you have to know, we had breakfast with a company today, and they said, we spent 60 hours last year figuring out who gets paid what.
Oh, like the administration of the...
Yeah.
And I'm like, what a waste amount of time. Like, it should take you 6 minutes. Like, you don't, do the work up front, get your plan designed, and then go back to running your business, right?
That's right. We become that sort of third party, the who, they can take that off their plate and allow them to focus on the business.
So we have different size customers listening to this. How do you charge for your services?
Typically, it's a project fee. Usually, it's a rock. So over and it doesn't usually take 90 days to do it. It might depend on the number of employees they have, but it's a project fee. It depends on the size of the organization, and through a discover call, we understand the landscape. What are the frustrations? What are we trying to solve together? And can ProfitWorks help? And in the event that there's a match there, we'll put together a proposal, and it's typically got a schedule over time so that it's not too much of an ask at the beginning.
But there's 3 core deliverables we want to make sure the client is familiar with, right? So the first deliverable is they need a plan design. It's got to exist. What are the rules, the regs, the discipline behind how are we going to incentivize our team? Everywhere from quarterly cash-based bonus to a synthetic wage. So how complex and how many people are under that's sort of step 1. Step 2 is, well, now if we have this tool, how do we make it come alive? We do workshops into organizations where we'll do profit education, we'll launch the plan, a half-hour session to a half-day workshop. Now we've just hot potatoed this into your organization, though. Now we need to give you tools to keep it on the rails quarter in, quarter out. And so those 3 steps, sort of the design, the launch, and the support, there's levels of depth into each of those. And we walk you through the many of those
as
opportunities.
much as if you're doing it yourself versus we'll do it for you, and anywhere in between. So it's just that range.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun.
That's great. So this is the 10th EOS conference, and you were you and your business partner at the time, Tom, started at 9 years ago, right? So
exactly right.
Yeah. So how does it feel to be here in the 10th year?
It's unbelievable, and I was telling the story somebody yesterday, but Tom and I were hiking Mount Kilimanjaro in 2014, which is a wonderful trip, attainable by anybody that wants to get to the top of that mountain. And we were in this tent this one night, and I remember saying to him, let's have a conference for our clients to get together. And he's like, let's do it. He was just like, yes, and, right? And so we put on a 3-year picture. So fast forward to 2016, it's, we're looking at, we're like, oh my God, we got to do this. So we booked the room in Atlanta and lined up Gino to be our keynote, and then started to fill in all the gaps with the speakers. You were our first and sole sponsor, or was there a couple
No, there was a few sponsors.
Sponsors,
Amazing.
Yeah. So thank you for your loyalty.
You were the spark. Yeah.
We had a VTO for the conference, and it had a vision, and we never could have imagined this.
Yeah.
Hallways with sponsors and thousands of people. It's
how many people
delightful.
Attended the first one?
325.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
And we were like, hopefully we sell out. And we sold out, and then it just doubled, and then it was about 1,000 at 3, and then EOS Worldwide took it over right before COVID. They were like, nice timing, Alex. It's like, But the virtual pivot worked out very well, and then we went back to in-person. And it's a lot of fun to strengthen the EOS community of companies, not only sponsors, but everybody running on EOS, be able to gather and just have like a love fest for honoring our founder, certainly, Gino, but also connecting with each other and learning from each other. And we say strengthening not only the community of EOS, but also strengthening your implementation of EOS. So it's been a joy to see this.
I shared in my breakout session yesterday that I was the very first speaker at the very first conference.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that.
We were the only pre-conference workshop. And we had like 35 people there. We invited them.
Yes.
And we did a talk on how to hire integrators. And then we invited all 35 people to go to the hotel bar. We bought drinks for them. And
that's so funny. Was that the bar that was on level 10? Where we did
no, it was on the main level.
There's been a good name for the bar, though.
That would have been a great name.
That would have been,
Oh, that's fun.
So it's funny. So we also had that visionary moment where I got notebooks for everybody, journals with everyone's names on it, and
oh wow,
so all 325 people got journals with their names on it, and so I thought we'd hand them out as people came in, and I did not picture, how many books there were and how we were going to organize them, and we had to get tables, and they're falling over in these stacks.
Standard visionary.
Yes.
It sounded good in the shower.
That's right.
And have you been consistent all 10 years?
We've sponsored 9 of the 10 years.
Amazing.
So in 2017 was the very first conference, and so my partner at the time, we stayed an extra day, and we went out for pizza and ice cream after the conference, and we were 4 hours in this ice cream shop talking about EOS, who the visionary was, who the integrator was, what our goals were.
Because you weren't running necessarily.
We were self-implementing. Self-implementing EOS, and that was the beginning of him realizing that he did not want to be part of the company. That our visions and goals were very different, and so at the end of 2017, I bought him out.
Okay.
And then in 2018. We did not sponsor. I came because I knew I just needed to come and be a participant. And so that was the only year we didn't sponsor.
Minneapolis, that was that year?
That was Minneapolis,
Gotcha.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah,
that makes sense. There's a lot of turbulence and things changing and uncertainty, and then it fell back into a nice pattern in there. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What a fun story. Good memories.
Yeah. Well, thank you both.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
And
thanks for the opportunity.
have a good rest of the conference. We got a few hours to go, and
stay strong.
All right. Thank you both.
Thank you. Thanks. Appreciate it.